Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is what am I talking about? Let's start over this. You want to do that?
No, you can just keep talking.
Hi, everyone. This is Waldorf,
And this is Statler.
and
You're old. You're allowed to mumble and bumble.
this is the wow. This is
Till
the
Friday, you're still a year older than me.
first part. Friday or Thursday?
Friday, yeah.
This is the first part of a two-part series on the dwarves.
Yes.
Dwarven
The
holds.
Dwarven holds.
This one we're going to go over the battle runes and their runic items.
Yes, so all the magic that they don't call magic but really is.
Correct. We needed to break up our whining into 2 episodes rather than one.
Exactly, because your heads might explode
Exactly. From listening
3
to
hours of whining all in one setting. This way you can have 2 different sittings of whining.
Exactly. And after you listen
And
to
only
one
have a migraine.
Yeah. And after you listen to one batch, you can just ignore the other one.
Maybe an aneurysm, but yeah.
All right. So we're going to start with their battle runes. These are the bound spells that the runic smiths and the anvil powers can run.
And we have to remember that, dwarves are not a magic army
They're not.
historically.
Correct.
They're just good at defending against magic because they're somewhat magic proof.
That was historically.
Yes. And now,
history has nothing to do with this.
So they can
Well,
match up against other armies by having some of the most powerful magic in the game.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
So they're so different from infernal dwarves now.
The advantage to this whole thing is this really gets you away from the GW mold. They're breaking out of the 8th edition.
That's true. That's true.
Because the dwarves are actually turn out to be a powerful magic army rather
Yes.
than a non-magic.
Yes, but it's
one.
not really magic because it's called runes.
They're runes. They're not magic.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, having gone through all that, we will say that these are fairly short ranged. I think they're 6 inches or 12 inches range. You can cast them on a 4 for 6 inches, or you can try for a 5
Yes.
to increase the range to 12.
Yes, and you get 3 of them on the anvil, and the rune smiths pay 20 points each
For up to 3.
for up to 3. Yes,
Yes.
and you're also limited to only having up to 2 of them,
So you get
2 of each of them.
in an army, correct?
Correct. So,
Well, the 20 points apiece is a little kind of, I think you're downplaying that a little bit. Because that means you can get 3 of these for the cost of 1 random spell that you don't know what it's going to do.
yeah. Well, it's still 10 points cheaper.
It is 10 points
Yeah,
cheaper.
that's true.
10 points more.
Yeah,
You have to pay 10 points more to get 3 of these.
exactly.
That you know exactly what they'll do and they'll be easy to cast.
Yes, but and
Than a random spell that you hope
But
will
they
do
are
something
different
for
than
you.
magic, so because you can get or spells you only can get one spell per list.
That's true. These you can take 2.
Here you can get 2, so that makes them different. Also, that's much worse.
That's why they're different.
Yeah,
Correct.
exactly. And I mentioned they're called runes.
Well, was there anything in there that made them worse than spells?
They're called runes.
Thank you. They're not spells. Got it. They're +1 to be dispelled.
The +1 to be dispelled, so that
That's
makes
it.
them terrible.
That makes
Yeah.
them terrible. Okay. So, let's start off this nonsense. You have the rune of swift striking. These are all the same. You can only have 2 per army. It's an augment. It only lasts 1 turn. The target gains +3 initiative.
So you basically are elf speed.
We're dwarves, so you should be really quick, right?
Yeah, it makes you elf speed.
Yeah, that's really good. +3 initiative.
That's very nice. The other thing, of course, while they've worked really hard on this army to make it so it maneuvers and all that, you still see people pack in the corner. So even a 12-inch range pretty much covers the army most
We'll
of the
cover
time.
your entire army
for the
most
majority
part.
of people who
It
are
won't
playing.
reach your miners that have,
Yes,
ambushed in.
or your flyers.
Or your flyers who
Yeah,
are
so-
awesome. Or your
yeah.
flying steam tank, which we'll get
Yes,
to later.
yes. So,
Anyway,
yeah. So anyway, yeah, +3. That's really good.
it is.
I can think of a lot of armies that would kill for that. The next one is the Rune of Resolve. It's an augment. It's instant. The target friendly unit may perform a 6-inch magical move.
I don't see this one used.
I can see it being useful, but yeah, I don't see it because of the nature of the army.
Correct.
Um,
You don't
guess
want to
this
get
is-
separated out from your other buddies.
Yeah, and I guess it's kind of tied to the idea they want the army to be more attack, related, but
Right.
because it shoots so well, it's just not a smart move.
And fights so well and
Yeah.
cast spells so well.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That brings us to the rune of reckoning. There will be a reckoning.
Yes.
It's an augment
Maybe
last one
not.
turn. The target friendly unit may re-roll failed to hits in close combat. That's actually fairly helpful. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically what the beast herds have as a standard army rule.
Yes. Well, they have to roll their leadership to get that.
That is true. Yeah, they have to roll with a 9 up
Yeah.
most of the time. So, yeah, no, rerolls are a
Reroll
wonderful
hits.
thing. I mean, they've gotten rid of a lot of rerolls, but there's still a lot of them in the
Well,
game.
this comes in that rare case where you're in the second round of combat and your hatred has expired.
Correct.
Okay.
So that makes this not good because,
Right. Well, it's no good because it's not useful in the first round because
Exactly.
you already have hatred. So
Exactly.
why would you take this?
exactly.
Okay.
That
Because you
must-
probably destroy the guy in
Yeah.
the first round of combat anyway.
That must
so
make
you
it
don't
bad,
Have
yeah.
a second round of combat.
With your strength 5 or
Alright.
strength 6 guys.
Right. Moving
The-
on.
Brings us to the Rune of Oaths.
Oaths.
Oaths, not
That should be the
oaks.
oaths.
Oaths.
Oaths. OOFS.
Not when you read it. The last one turn, the target gains stubborn and immune to psychology.
Your leadership 10 army needs that. It's good. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. I would love to have that in
Very good.
a couple of armies.
That's a spell.
Yes.
Brings us the rune of gleaming.
Gleaming.
Last one turn. Target gains hard target and distracting.
Very nice.
Very good.
It's like, what you call it?
Divination.
Divination, yes.
Yeah, so are these other ones.
Yeah, but cost 20 points. Did we mention that?
Well, you don't have to roll to see if you get it either.
Exactly.
You don't have to hope you roll the right number to get
Well,
the...
for this one, you can get, it's the default spell, right?
It is.
Yeah, so. Next one is the Rune of Resilience. That little diamond doesn't make me think resilience.
No?
Yeah. Last one turn. All 2 wound rolls against a target receive a -1 modifier. Multiple instances cast on the same unit do not stack.
Toughness 4 guys with a -1 to wound.
Yeah, that's very nice.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost in effect a +1 toughness.
To a large degree, yes.
Right. It's better than a +1 toughness. Because if they're really strong and are wounding you on a
Yes,
2...
yes. That's correct. That's correct. No, it's really nice. And I mean, all of these, for most armies, would be really nice magic spells.
Yes.
Yeah, I think our issue here is we're in the camp that dwarves shouldn't have magic, and this is
This is giving them magic.
you're calling it something else,
Right.
but it's magic. It works exactly the same way, except it has all of the advantages that bound items currently have in 9th Age, which is
Over spells, yes.
they're you know what you get. They're less expensive than actual spells, and they're super easy to cast. And frankly, the -1 to dispel is not
Well,
does
the
not
fact-
even come close to compensating for that.
Correct. The fact that you're getting 3 of these for the cost of... for 10 points more than you pay for a
Yes.
single spell.
And you can spam dice on them, and
Correct.
you have so many of them. You can, yeah.
Right.
Okay, so those are, and we'll talk about the options that come with the anvil because it's got 3 more when we do the army book.
When we do the army
Yeah,
book, it does have 3 more runes.
Yeah. So now we get into the runic items, and this basically is the equivalent of the dwarven magic weapons.
Right.
So they're magic weapons. They're called runic weapons. That's fine. I don't have a problem from a fluff perspective with that.
Because they need magic. They do.
I
I'm
don't have
not-
any problem with items.
Yeah,
Yeah. I just
correct.
don't like the idea of having an option to have potentially a heavy magic list with dwarves. It just arguably is as powerful as the dwarven list that's supposed to be the magic dwarves, which is the infernal dwarves. Yeah. So what separates the two? One just has more reliable magic.
Correct.
Okay. Brings us to the dwarven brews. And these are basically the items that you can take with your characters and replace the equivalent magic items. Dwarven Holds armies cannot pick from the pool of common magical items, except for common magic standards, which we'll talk about later, but instead create their own using Dwarven runes. The resulting object is called runic items. Follow the normal rules for magic items. Their runic weapons count as magical items. Runic armor counts as magic armor. Runic talismans count as talismans, and runic runes, arcane runes are arcane items. Each rune combination forms a magic item which cannot be duplicated. So this is something that's basically the same as it was in the GW days with Fantasy Battle.
Right.
So you have a decent number of options, but what makes it a huge number of options is that you can double up and combine, as long as you don't have one item that has the same
exact same
ability, specific ability or combination thereof.
Right.
You can actually replicate items, which is something that no one else can do. And
with the exception, of course, the first 4, which you cannot duplicate.
Right, unless you have, which are the old master runes, basically.
Right.
And you have up to 3 of them, and up to 3 can be clustered together and count as one magic item. Of course, that's probably going to use up most of your magic allotment. But dwarves also, which we'll see when we do the army book, have on their characters a slight bonus as far as how many points they can take.
Correct.
Compared to most other races' characters.
The lords can take 250 points,
Right.
at least the fighty lords.
Right.
And
150 for the hero levels. And yeah.
Right. All right, so we start with the, and these can only be placed on hand weapons and paired weapons.
Right.
So we'll start with the Rune of Penetrating. This is one of those, you can only have one of this per army. Attacks made with this weapon gain armor piercing 6.
Yes. 80 points.
80 points. I believe it's 100 points for the obsidian sword.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's cheaper.
It is cheaper. You can only have one in the army.
And has the disadvantage of being able to be combined with +1 strength if you wanted to. Oh, that's not a disadvantage, is it?
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. Rune of Penetrating. Armor, complete. Ignore armor for 80 points.
But you can only have one of them, so at least you're limited there.
Okay.
Rune of Destruction, also 80 points, 1 per army. Attacks made with a weapon engraved with this rune gain multiple wounds D3. So there's the multi-wound, and it's not limited to monsters or anything. It's everything gets
Correct.
It's D3.
It's across the board, D3
Right.
wounds. Which is really good.
Yes, it is.
That brings us to the next one, which is the Rune of Smashing.
Smashing.
For 40 points. Models on foot only. Attacks made with this weapon. Attacks made with a weapon engraved with this rune gain strength 10 when attacking targets with a toughness of 5 or greater.
Yes.
So for 120 points, you can get strength 10
Strength
with
10
D3
wounds, yes.
And I see that fairly often.
Yeah, I would think so.
Anyway, yeah, strength is fantastic for 40 points.
Absolutely.
Really, because the only thing you're really worried about is toughness 5 stuff.
Yes. Yes,
Right?
absolutely.
Okay. Anyway.
Next is the Rune of Craftsmanship. It's only 40 points. Also, the weapon engraved with this rune becomes a magical great weapon.
Okay.
Doesn't sound like much. By itself, it's not.
It's not.
Until you combine it with something else.
Like 2 over where you combine
Yes.
with the Rune of Precision. Just off the top of my head.
Yes. Yes.
That or the 2 over and 1 down, combine
Yeah.
all 3 of those together.
Yeah.
And, anyway. That brings us to the Rune of Might for 40 points each time you take it, because this one is not limited. This rune gives you +1 strength.
So basically, in theory, if you want, you could have one guy with +3, one guy with +2, and one guy with +1.
Yes. Or you can have one guy with +2 and then another guy with +2 and the Rune of Fire
Yes.
for 10
That's
points
true.
to make
That's
it
true.
different.
Well, that way you can actually go +3 with the Rune of Fire. Oh, you're
Can't
only
do
3.
that,
Yeah, you're only 3. You're right. Yeah, yeah.
Rule of 3.
Yes, yes.
Anyway.
Which brings us to the Rune of Precision, 40 points. The wielder of this weapon gains lightning reflexes.
Okay.
So that's nice with the, yes, we mentioned with the great weapon option. It's actually nice with a number of the options because
It's +1 to hit,
it is +1 out.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And your dwarves are a good weapon skill to begin with.
Yes.
So
So
it's
it's
really
often
good.
going to bring you to a 2 against a lot of opponents. Yes.
That brings us to the Rune of Quickening. For each Rune of Quickening engraved, the bearer gains +2 initiative. Simple, quick, good.
It's decent, except since you have the other thing that you can just cast it, spam casting it.
The +3 initiative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this, like I said, in case he gets caught out of that bubble.
I mean, the advantage of this is you have it. You don't have to worry about it being dispelled.
Right.
But
Correct.
it's just they're kind of doubling up on that ability. Brings us to the Rune of Fury. It's only 30 points. For each Rune of Fury engraved on the weapon, the bearer gains +1 attack when wielding this weapon.
That's good.
Very nice when you can combine it with some of the other things above.
Really good. Yeah. Bump you up a attack or two.
Right.
And then the Rune of Fire for 10 points makes your weapon flaming and gives you the ability to kind of throw this on something else and avoid the duplication rule.
Yeah. Just trying to think. So you have 100, and so the Rune of Destruction is 80.
Right.
The Rune of Smashing is 40, so we're at 120. We have enough points. We can give him an extra attack, so we're at 150. And
Which
we
still leaves you 100
still have
points
100
for
for other things. So yeah, that's quite.
It's a handy weapon for 150
quite
points.
Good. And then you can give the guy the Great Weapon guy 40 points plus lightning reflexes, and
quickening. So now you're striking at initiative 6 or so, because I think the Lord is 4.
probably
4.
yeah.
So it's probably 6.
Or give him the. I'm about lots of high strength attacks. So
Right.
I think I'd rather have the +1 attack.
+1 attack, and then count on your initiative from the other.
I'd count on the initiative from the other thing because I have that ability.
Right.
And even if I don't get it, I'm gonna be so protected. I'm probably not going to be
Correct.
killed anyway.
Yeah.
Except by like a Scourge of Wrath.
Scourge of Wrath, which
So,
might fight you.
Yeah.
Okay. The real benefit to these is the combining them however you want.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of times you'll see a magic item that does 2 things, and one of the things you don't really care about.
Right.
This kind of avoids that.
It does.
Which is really nice. It's a nice ability, and I don't mind it being there.
I don't mind it being
there.
there.
If it wasn't for some other stuff, it wouldn't be bad.
The stacking abilities are, they seem a little much, but as long.
Well,
I think more the point is some of the points seem to be off because.
Correct.
While some of these may be pointed okay, if it was just it by itself, they become exponentially better when you start.
None of the first 3
together.
are pointed okay.
Yeah, that's
They're
true.
all pointed low.
Yes.
And they're pointed low, and you get an additional 50 points to spend on things.
Yeah.
So they're pointed low like twice.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Especially that 40 points for the
40 points for toughness,
strength 10.
versus toughness.
That's just insane.
Toughness 5. That's just crazy. And D3 wounds for 80.
Yeah.
Against everything.
And the Rune of Fire is a problem because it just allows you to.
Even the penetrating, like I said, it's only 20 points cheaper than the Obsidian Sword, but it's 20 points cheaper.
Yeah, that's true.
It is that cost.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I think the biggest problem with the point values is that they're, like I said, it's a double hit. They're cheaper than they should be.
They have a bigger
and
allotment.
you have a bigger pool.
And they're cheaper than a number of the magic weapons, yet you can
pool.
You can pool them together to get combination effects, which are
Correct.
better. Because some things, as I when you start stacking D6 abilities, it becomes exponentially better. So I don't like the Rune of Fire just because it's a way to duplicate
break
things
the other things
for no real cost
Correct.
consideration. So
The only advantage, the only drawback I can see at all to the Rune of Fire is it's not like the banner where you can turn it on and off.
Yeah, whatever. I just don't think it should
you
be.
Come against a guy with
It shouldn't be a weapons. It shouldn't be a weapons rune. So they can duplicate weapons.
Right.
That's my only. Not that you're going to buy a lot of characters, but still, just the ability to do it's kind of
Correct.
cheesy. They should make it something else, just so it makes you have to take it as something else, and you can't duplicate weapons.
All right, that'll bring us to the armor runes.
Which also have the up to 3,
Correct.
counts as a single item. So the first one we have is
start off with any suit of armor that you already own
Yes.
can be used. So
Correct.
your Gromwell armor, or whatever they call
Yes.
it now,
Whatever.
your plate mail equivalent can be tooled up with these.
Correct. So we have the Rune of Resistance, 90 points, so it's not cheap. Successful wounds to roll against the wearer of an armor engraved with this rune must be re-rolled.
Okay.
So by itself, on a toughness 5 guy, that's pretty good.
Right. Well, I mean, this is the same as the Buffer's Helm, though.
Yes.
I mean, there's no difference there.
Correct.
And it looks like it's pointed up, if I'm not mistaken, right about the same. I believe it's 90 points for that.
Is it 90 or 80? I can't
I don't
remember.
know, somewhere around there.
But yeah.
So, I mean, it's not a terrible thing.
Yeah, Buffer's Helm's not pointed well anyway because
Well, yeah. it
it's
depends
really
on-
good with, toughness 5 guys, and it sucks for toughness 3
It's a real
guys.
waste of points if you buy it for an elf.
Yes.
Unless that elf is riding. I don't think it works that way anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway. That gives us the Rune of Mountains for 60 points, plus 1 toughness to a maximum of 6. So there's a combo you can see right there.
If you want to
Bump
make it,
yourself to tough 6 and make them reroll to hit
Right.
to wound you.
and that's 150, so
Right. That's a chunk.
yes, you can't make the uber weapon guy, but you can still take some of the other weapon combinations we talked about and still be quite fighty. Yeah, toughness 6 is a big deal if you can get up to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I'd argue that going from 4 to 5 is worth 60 points. Going from 5 to 6, I think, is worth more than 60 points.
Yes.
Rune of Steel, because not all toughness is equal. Rune of Steel, 60 points. And armor engraved with this rune allows the wearer to reroll failed armor saves.
Okay. Good. No limitation. That's nice.
That's that one really, to me, it really fits the army.
It does.
As well as in my mind at least, is this well armored,
Guy that
well
you can't
crafted
hurt.
armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that one.
I don't have a problem with either. The Rune of Mountains as well. I mean, that's kind of a characteristic of the army to me. I mean, I really don't have a serious problem with any of these armor runes yet.
Yeah.
The Rune of Bronze for a +1 wound. Another really nice. Again, to me, fits it. They're tough. They're hard to kill.
Yeah.
Give them an extra wound.
40 points.
Yep. It's cheap for an extra wound. It's really good.
Yeah, it's too cheap for the extra wound. Way too cheap. But yeah, it is.
But it's kind of an army thing, right?
It is nice. Yeah, it's an army thing. All their stuff is cheap. All their magic items are cheaper than other people's.
No, that's the army thing you're talking about. I was talking about the fluff thing, where tough, hard to kill.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I don't have a problem with any of these things. Where Rune of Aegis.
Aegis?
Aegis.
Oh, okay.
The 30 points each. The wearer gains magic resistance 1 or increases his effect by +1 per rune up to magic resistance 4. Wow. This rune does not increase the magic resistance inherited from other model in the unit.
Oh, okay. So you can't use this on a piece of armor and buff the runesmith's whatever.
Yeah.
If he still has MR. I think he still has MR, doesn't he?
I think so. I have to with a look. I don't
Okay.
remember. This is fine. I'm not sure you
This is
take.
fine. I don't
I'm not
think
sure you're
anybody
gonna.
will ever use
You'll
it.
ever take it, but
I think
it's fine.
magic resistance is gone by the wayside the way it's played now.
Yeah, we'll have to see when they redo the rules. But yeah, it's just no point compared to some of the other options you can have.
Correct. The Rune of Iron. Wearer gains innate defense 6. 1 additional rune may be used to increase this to 5.
Yes.
Okay. So it's just the +1.
It's a +1 armor save for 20 points, old 10 points.
And this is not armor. This is innate defense, which counts as armor.
It counts as armor. It just
I guess
stacks
it
on.
doesn't make a
It
difference.
allows you to stack on top of your other armor.
Correct.
It's a way to get your armor up to, I guess, a 1-up.
Why do they have to? I'm just wondering what instead of adding +1 to your armor, I guess it's harder to write that way.
I think it's just the way they have it written because
Okay.
armor's only plate. It only goes up to 4.
Okay.
So this way they can get up to a 2 without having to say.
Add 1 to your armor.
I'm just guessing that's why they've done it. So like the mounts, they may give the mounts
Right.
innate defense instead of +1
Guarding.
armor save. Or,
Right.
yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
So I think it's just the way they wrote it. Yeah.
Okay. Kind of odd.
Yeah.
Rune of Crushing for 10 points. You gain 1 impact hit. +1 impact hit.
Yeah.
So I guess if you really wanted to, you could take 3 of these and get get 3 impact hits.
As a standalone, I think it's not worth it at all. What it does, though, is it allows you to take multiples of the things above.
Oh, just toss it onto something.
Yes. Which I have a little bit of a problem with, but
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Again, there's so many characters you could have in this army
yeah.
because of the expense of them. All right. Brings us to the
But once again, I don't like that in any of these where you take the 10 point and it allows you
and
basically.
bump them up again.
It's bad enough that
Right.
you already have a whole bunch of good choices that you can construct, Now I can have good choices, and I can just
And
pay
kinda
10
almost
extra
double
points,
them up. Yeah.
and I can double or maybe
Understood.
almost triple the.
That brings us to the Talismanic runes. Up to 3, maybe take as a single talisman. Simple. We'll start with the rune of Retribution.
It's a great name.
It's a good name for a rune. 70 points. This is the only one you can only have once. One use only. May be activated at the beginning of any movement phase. Friendly units within 6 gain devastating charge for the duration of the player turn. It's okay, but I don't know that you're going to use it because if something happens and you end up getting charged, you've wasted. I guess at some point during the game you'll be able to pull it out and use it.
I've never been a fan of one use that
Right.
cost any kind of points, and I think this costs some points.
Too much for a one use, but it's every unit within 6 though.
Understood, but I'd rather make my guys uber killy and uber defensive.
Rather than taking your whole line forward
Yeah,
with +1 attack each. Okay.
yeah. I
I
mean,
understand. I mean, this.
it's different if it was everyone within 6 inches got a free move or something. That'd be different.
Anyway, this is pretty potent. I mean,
It
this
is
can-
potent if you got guys
can
with
really break it if your line can charge.
with great weapons, and has lots of strength. I mean, it can, but you have to be close enough and all of that goes with
Correct.
it. I could see it being used. I just I don't know some of the other things. Rune of Dragon's Breath, 60 points. The bearer gains breath weapon, strength 4, magical attacks, and flaming attacks.
So here you're paying 60 points for a one use item. What do you think about this one?
Um,
I love this, by the way.
I like it. Yeah,
So, Miterum, what's the guy's name?
Materium.
Yeah. Insane bastard. He showed up to the Brawler Bash tournament with, I think, 7 characters with this rune on him.
7.
Yeah, because he did this and something, this, and
Yeah.
Rune of Kinship, and Rune of this, and Rune of this,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
this.
Well, there's a lot of cheap things here.
And
but
tossed this onto 7 characters. He had 7 breath weapons in his
yeah.
army.
Yeah. That's pretty.
It was hilarious. I don't know that it ever worked for him.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I know one turn he said, one game I remember seeing, he had a guy that cast that. God, I can't think of the name of the divination spell. It makes you roll a d6 for each guy in the unit,
Right.
or you can't. There's something you can't perform,
Yeah.
like March or whatever. So it crushed him. But
Oh yeah. Well, had all the characters in one unit.
yes.
Oh.
yes.
That could
he
be
wanted
pretty.
he wanted to unleash it as a
Yeah, that could be pretty powerful, especially against elves.
I'm going to unleash 5 breath weapons on you in this turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
yeah.
do have to be in base-to-base contact to use a breath weapon.
Yeah.
So in combat, so it does limit the number of guys he has up in the front.
Yeah.
Anyway, for 60 points, I think it's fine. It's a nice weapon.
It's
a
fine.
Strength 4. It's a strength 4 breath weapon.
Yeah. Yeah. No, strength
Which is
4
good.
makes it's a big difference,
Correct.
and they count as magical attacks. So
They do.
that's nice. Brings us to the Rune of Courage, 60 points, one use only. May be activated at the start of any round of the combat. For the duration of the phase, the wearer gains Stubborn. So another Stubborn.
Yeah, another way to get stubborn. One use only, though.
Yes.
This is nice to have for that, one time you get flanked by that big thing or whatever.
Yep.
Kind of covers your butt a little bit.
Yeah, it is nice.
Brings us to squeezed in here in the middle is the Rune of Infamy. The bearer gains fear. It's a nice thing for 30 points.
It's way too cheap
Fear is really good now.
because fear is so good. -1 leadership is such a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, guaranteed -1 to, unless they're immune to psychology, you're guaranteeing a -1 leadership.
Yeah, no, I just think it's
Really good for 30 points.
Yeah, I definitely fit that in the army once or twice, but
All right.
just way too cheap. Ether Lodestone, Loathstone.
Loathstone?
The Loathstone.
I guess you loathe it.
I guess makes you loathe. I don't know. Okay.
What's a 0-1?
30 points. 0-1 again. One use only again. Instead of making it a spell roll, you may use this item. The spell is operated as a spell. In an army list that includes a model bearing this rune, friendly models cannot cast bound spells, nor can any friendly models carry arcane.
So it's the Crown of Scorn.
It's the Crown of Scorn because they have to have the same exact ability. So they don't have to take a runesmith to have the ability.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't quite like that they did that with this army, but that's a whole other thing.
I don't mind it because it means I would love to see every army I run up against have this because that means they're not using runes.
Yeah, I'd rather they did something about those runes and this was the item that they had
Correct.
instead of having arcane runes, which we'll get to. Yeah.
Brings us to the rune of shielding.
Mm-hmm.
Talisman engraved with the rune of shielding grants the bearer a 6-up ward save, or increases the ward save of +1 per rune. Can stack only with itself and shield wall up to a maximum of 4-up ward.
Yeah.
Does not affect the interaction with magic resistance. Oh, okay. So it doesn't get bumped from magic resistance.
Yes.
Wait a minute. This does not affect the... So it does still work with magic resistance. Does not affect the interaction, the ward save. The way I'm reading this is
This
that
does not affect interaction with magic resistance.
Right. A ward save's interaction with magic resistance. This does not affect it. So does that mean it still works or it doesn't work?
I assumed it didn't work, but could be wrong.
Okay. Either way.
That you only get the MR against your original ward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
MR is not to me is not a big deal anymore.
Yeah,
so.
it's not. It doesn't care. But yeah.
Just curious. I'm not sure the way that reads.
Yeah.
Which way they intend it. I think it does not interact with magic resistance. I mean, I don't think it stacks with magic resistance.
Right.
But the way it's written is not clear.
Yeah, I'll agree. It could be written better, but that's what I think it means. Yeah, ward saves. Always like ward saves. You're paying 90 points for a 3-up ward save. So
yeah, I mean you're normally paying 100, so that's not.
I can't remember which ones. Didn't they drop the point?
I think it is 90.
I think it's 90. I think
and
it
the
is.
Armor is 100.
The armor's 100, I think, or it's the other way around. I can't remember.
Yeah. Either way, you're paying either the same or a point more.
Yeah, of course, it's fine.
No big deal.
And it's a way to get, good ward saves in your army.
It is.
The thing is, stacking with the shield walls a bit much, but
yeah. I mean, for 30 points, yeah, that's really good.
yes,
it's only on your character, of course, but
yeah,
there's a lot of things that are hitting you that are only good on the round they're hitting you, and that's when the shield wall really helps you.
correct. Of course, your character. I mean, to get the shield wall bonus, you'd have to have a shield.
Yeah.
So this allows you to basically go with the 2-hand weapon and get the extra attack and the extra initiative for your runic weapon and build up your ward save.
Without shield wall.
Yeah, without shield wall.
Okay. What's that? Rune of kinship?
Rune of kinship.
Bearer gains scout and ambush, but may not be mounted on a war throne. Okay.
20 points.
20 points to scout and ambush your guy.
Yeah.
So I guess that way you can hang out with your miners.
Yes, or
go by yourself.
Or buy yourself more ward saves, or
what's that?
Or breath weapons.
Yeah.
Or fear.
Okay, more breath weapons and more fear.
It's a good way to get fear or breath weapons or whatever.
20-point stacker that you don't have to scout or ambush.
Exactly.
Okay, makes sense.
Yes, brings us to the Rune of the Forge. The bearer gains Fireborn, 10 points. It's really just an excuse for me to get more fear, more breath weapons, or
mix them a little bit.
More ward saves, whatever.
Yeah. 10 points for Fireborn, that's fine.
Yeah.
That brings us to the Arcane Rune.
I said, okay.
What?
It's back to having this tempo. I don't mind the things that they have. I just don't like
the little cheap stackable ones.
That they're cheap and stackable.
I mean, the little cheap ones.
It allows you to duplicate.
Even though you're not supposed to duplicate.
Yeah.
Got it.
I think it allows you to over duplicate is what I should say. I don't mind some of the duplication by constructing weapons. I'm just not a fan of the over duplication. It's a personal thing.
Arcane runes. If you have the Runecraft or Runecraft Mastery rules, you can take up to 3 of the following as a single arcane item. Which starts us with the Rune of Denial.
Yes.
You are denied.
Denied.
You don't have one of these in an army. The bearer may choose to use this rune instead of making a dispel attempt. The spell is automatically dispelled.
So that's your dispel scroll.
So there's your dispel scroll for 100 points. Same as any other.
If you decide to take a runesmith.
Why would you not?
Depends if you want that altar or not.
What's that?
Depends depends if you want the anvil or not.
You take both.
Yeah.
Take a guy and an anvil.
Okay, brings us to the Rune of Mastery. 80 points. Once per magic phase, the bear may reroll one magic dice when casting a bound spell.
Once per phase. Okay.
Yes.
This allows you to spam stuff by rolling a single dice at it.
Yep.
So I like it.
It's fantastic.
It is. Moving on, the Rune of Harnessing. Dwarven player gains +1 modifier to channel, and the opponent suffers a -1 to channel. 75 points for this.
Yeah, it's crap.
I'm not sold on this one.
No.
Yeah, I'm not sold on that. I mean, if the guy's got a single mage, he's channeling on a 6. Does it really matter?
I don't
It means
care.
he's not channeling.
I don't care if he's got 3 mages. It's just not worth that many points.
Yeah, to possibly reduce his channeling by 1.
If it was +1 magic dice and -1 magic dice.
Oh, then it'd be way too cheap.
Then it'd be too cheap, but just for channeling, just not very good right now.
No, it's not. Channeling doesn't mean a lot.
Yeah, you might get an extra die, and you just can't. And mages cost so much, you can't have very many of them.
Correct.
I mean, there's a couple armies, of course, that have buff wagons and stuff that have extra channel.
Yeah, but I mean, bringing an army
but-
from a channeling on a 3 to a channeling on a
Yeah,
4, is
it's-
that really worth
I'm
75
just not.
points
Yeah,
to
I'm
you?
not. It's like I'm not paying the points for it.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, Rune of Grounding.
And sorry, but 75 points goes a long way to getting you another runesmith, which will give you +1 to channel.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Brings us to the Rune of Grounding. 75 points again. 0 to 1 roots per army. At the end of friendly magic phase, the bearer may save 1 unused magic die and add to the pool of magic dice in the next magic phase. So that would be your opponent's magic phase. Immediately after rolling magic flux. So the downside of this is you have to decide to hold this die at the beginning of your magic phase.
no. At the end of the friendly magic phase, you decide, and then it adds at the beginning of the next phase, immediately after rolling your flux.
End of the friendly magic phase.
At the end.
Yeah, I'm just right. Oh, okay. I mean, after. I guess it's just telling you for sure
Just telling
that you
when
get
you add it.
that you get the die at that point in time.
Correct. In case something immediately affects
Yeah,
something in between there.
someone's cast at the beginning or whatever.
weird thing.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Okay.
but for 75 points, it's a little pricey, but it's handy.
It's handy. It gives you a potential extra dispel die.
Because if you're spamming your 1 die runes, a lot of times you're going to have something left over. You know? Anyway,
You could.
I'm not sure about this one. I think it's better than the Rune of Harnessing above.
I think it is better also. I just don't know if I want to pay 75 points for
Yeah,
it.
75 points for the chance to save 1 die.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Rune of Brilliance. 70 points. The bearer gains +1 modifier to all dispel rolls and all casting rolls when casting bound spells. This overrides the normal restrictions of not adding casting modifiers to bound spells.
bearer gains +1 modifier to all dispel rolls.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
Then, and all casting rolls when casting bound spells.
No, it's not. It's an and, so
+1 modifier to dispel rolls when casting bound spells.
yes.
And +1 modifier
Yes.
to casting rolls when casting bound spells.
Right.
So +1 to dispel bound spells is you're already +6. Okay, that's nothing. Would come in handy for playing Beastmen. Playing against Beastmen.
Beastmen or EOS.
Right. So +1 to cast and dispel bound spells.
The spell, who cares? It's the +1 to the cast is the big deal.
Yeah. Look at that. Is it worth 70 for that?
Yeah, because it
Brings your casting
it's
down
all
to
of
a
them.
3. Yeah.
It depends what it is, a 3 or a 4. Depends on what it is. But
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is, of course, because it's all of them.
What do you mean all of them?
It's not limited to 1 casting attempt per phase.
Correct. It's every casting attempt.
It's every casting attempt from that
Yeah, that's actually
runesmith
pretty
or
good.
from the what you call it,
Anvil.
anvil.
Well, no, the bearer. Only the bearer gets it.
Yeah,
Does the anvil go on a bearer or not?
you can have.
It's a
It has runes, right?
No, I'm just saying. You can't put this on the anvil because the anvil's its own piece now.
Oh, it's the other things that it can
Right,
take.
right.
Yeah, it takes those things above. I'm sorry, you're right.
But
yeah.
it is still really good, I think.
Yeah.
+1 to.
No, it is good.
Anyway, all right. Brings us to the Rune of Devouring that you can have for 70 points. You can only have one of these in an army, and it's a one-use item. The player may choose to use this rune instead of making a spell attempt. The spell is cast as normal, but is afterwards lost and cannot be cast again for the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
This rune cannot be combined with the Rune of Denial on the same item.
Right.
So you can't do this. You have to have two guys if you want this and the Rune of Denial.
Right. Well, but it's one, oh, I see, yeah. One per army, and you can't put it on the same. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
I love this.
I think this is fantastic, especially for 70 points.
For 70 points, this is great. You run up against some guy who's...
I'm destroying this. I mean, he gets it off early in the game, which
Right.
probably doesn't matter that much. A spell that he really needs.
like the evocation.
Yes. And now he doesn't have it anymore.
It's gone completely.
Yes.
Or it forces him not to use it until he really needs it
Correct.
one time.
Which means he's probably not getting his other spells off, because more than likely he's only got 4 spells anyway.
Right.
Because magic is so expensive, and regular magic, not rune items,
Right.
is so expensive that you have a handful of them. So this really can mess somebody up. Basically, you're taking away 25% of their magic for 70 points.
Yeah, I'm
That's
assuming
35
this,
old points.
I don't see anything to prevent it, but it looks like this definitely works on bound stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah. 70 points for that. That's really good. I mean, the downside,
Oh
of
my
course,
gosh, if it works on bound items.
permanent.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, I'm assuming. I don't see anything to say it doesn't.
Instead of making a dispel attempt, the spell is cast as... Yeah, I would assume that it does. Wow, that's fantastic.
No, this is really good. And
You get a buff wagon that the guy's built his build around, and all of a sudden you shut down its ability. Wow.
if it's a cast ability
Yeah,
that he
yeah.
has to roll for,
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
Doesn't prevent
No, the
that
area effects
natural
doesn't
auras.
affect, but still, yeah,
But yeah.
that's really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice. Very good. A little cheap for what it does, but
Yeah.
very good. I mean, the one downside to it is you have to let it go through the one time.
Yeah. It's early. More than likely, it's
Right.
going to be early in the game, or it's going to be so late in the game that you can just dispel it. So,
Correct.
um,
And
because
The
I'm
big
going to say
thing-
if he holds it because he's afraid, if you wait till turn 5,
Right.
you're just going to spell it anyway.
I mean, if you really look at the usefulness of this item, though, even if it's not the really big spell, you got a guy, you're playing against a guy who's got 4 spells, right?
Yes.
You've got one of his spells he's got that's not that great. The other 3 are good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, on average, he pulls out a spell that's not going to be that big a deal against
Yep.
you. So he's got 3 spells to use against you. You're really scared against his big spell.
Mm-hmm.
But he casts one of his 2 littler spells that you don't like, but you're not really scared. Go ahead and eat it.
Yeah.
So now for the rest of the game, he's got 2 spells per phase that you're
Correct.
concerned about.
And generally speaking, a lot of times you're going to have, say you have 4 spells, 2 of them may be attack spells and 2 of them may be buffs and hexes.
Right.
And you decide, based on the matchup, I don't want to be dealing with the attack spells because that's how he's going to
Mm-hmm.
engage my gun army, my gun line. So I'm just going to shut down one of them. And if I kill one, the other one's never going to get off because
Correct.
I'll
You
have
can
enough
always
dispel
stop
dice.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If of his 4
Yeah.
spells, one of them you're probably not worried about at all just because of the nature
Right.
of the 4 spells. So this shuts down one. Now you got 2 spells a turn that you
Yeah.
need to deal with.
And so usually you're only worried about 2 spells
This
anyway.
really wins a magic phase for you.
Yeah.
I mean, for the rest of the game.
and then you combine it with some of the other stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean...
I don't mind most of the arcane items, but the arcane items on top of the number of, bound spells that they have, I think
Right.
is really broken.
Right. I
It
mean,
ju-
if
it
they
just
were
makes their
a,
magic face so good.
if they were a magicless army,
It's fine.
this would not be as bad. It's still really good, but
It would be,
not
but
as
it wouldn't bother me then,
Correct.
because that's their thing.
if
That'd
they
be the
weren't
thing.
a magic army.
Is it's hard to get spells off, and you'd have to change a couple of these because they're +1 to bound spell casting. But so these types of things I don't have any problem with in a magicless army. But to have this ability and have the ability to spam lots of good quality spells, I think is
Yeah. No,
I'm not a fan of that.
I can see why.
Yeah.
Um,
Brings us to the runic standards. So the Dwarf Hold armies may use magic standards from the common magic items, so they have all the standards everybody else has.
All like what, 3?
Yeah, all 3 of them.
Maybe
as
4.
well as the runic standards listed below. So this is the one exception to they can't use magic items. The battle standard bearer may take a runic standard or a common magic standard as part of its runic item allowance. And just as a reminder,
kind of like a BSB guy.
Yeah, their hero has a bonus point, so they can actually take some of them, pricier standards, of which some of these are, and still take runic items to defend themselves or make themselves fighty.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I mean, I think we're both in the same thing. We actually don't like the common items. We'd like them to put them all in the books and point them appropriately and give them to the right armies, because some just don't make sense. Instead of having like weird rules, maximize strength 5 and crazy stuff, just give them to the armies you don't want to have those abilities.
Correct.
So that part of it doesn't bother me. They do have. Can't think of an army that has. I'm sure there's somebody, but not too many armies have 3 magic standards themselves as it is.
Right.
Which is too bad, because I wish there would be a lot more magic standards in the end.
Standards a lot.
Because those are things that make units unique. So anyway.
All right. Well, we've got the runic standard of dismay.
Dismay. I am dismayed.
You're very dismayed
by
because
your standard. I'm very dismayed.
You're charging for 100 points. Any unit charging the bearer's unit suffers a minus D6 to a modifier to its charge range.
Yes.
Roll for each unit that charges the bearer's unit before moving the unit. This can cause a failed charge.
Yes.
Very well can.
Yeah.
This has no effect on pursue or overrun moves.
Yeah.
It's 100 points for minus D6 to a move.
To a charge move, yeah. This is that thing that they came up with in the last 8th edition army book.
Yeah, it might have been there even before then.
I forgot what it was called.
It might have been in the 7th. Runes.
Was it? I thought it was...
No, I'm pretty sure it's been there around for a while.
That could be. I don't remember.
Because I remember I've played dwarves using this item.
Yeah.
And I don't think I played dwarves in 8th edition.
Yeah, I just remember using it with those fire...
matter of fact, I guarantee I didn't play in 8th edition.
Yeah.
Because 8th edition, they had the shield wall, right? I don't think I've ever used dwarves with shield.
Yeah, and I just remember the fire wardens. It was kind of neat.
What?
The old fire warden guys, the shooty guys. You just keep shooting. They couldn't get to you.
Right.
So, yeah, this is really good.
I don't know that it's really good. It's 100 points. It might roll a 1.
It might, but it's really good.
Anyway.
Because, it depends how you build your army. If you're building your army MSU, not such a big deal. But if you're building around,
Death Star type.
Death Stars are big units.
Guys,
and your opponent really needs combo charges.
Right.
That's
true.
He's got to get really close to you to. He's got to get basically 6 inches away to,
to make it work.
To make sure that he's going to get in.
I guess it doesn't affect you if you have your minimum champ, right?
I'm assuming that's the case.
Because there's no D6 modifier for that.
So for minus D6 yeah. I don't know. That's a good question.
I mean, because if you've got a movement 4 in your champ,
modifier.
You're guaranteed to get an 8. I don't know. We'll have to look and see what that interaction comes from.
You suffer a minus D6 modifier their charge range. So whatever their charge range is, they apply a minus D6.
Okay. So it can.
So I think it does apply.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the charge roll; it's the charge range. You're right.
It doesn't take away dice or anything.
So you roll your dice, figure out what your range is, even if that's a default 8.
Yeah.
Minus
and then you
D6
say, hey, roll this extra die and take that away.
Yeah. Ooh.
So yeah, so even like the reroll that the Knights Aspirin I assume they'd apply this after their.
They roll.
And then they roll, and they get they roll again. They get a better one, and then.
Well, if your first one makes it, then you don't reroll.
Yeah.
Actually, this is pretty good. Better than I thought.
It is good.
All right.
I don't think it's broken. I just think it's really good.
This is broken. Go ahead.
The runic standard of shielding, 80 points. 1 in the army. All friendly units within 6 inches of the bearer gain ward save 5+ against shooting attacks.
Huh.
Yeah, since half time you're sitting in the corner, that basically means
with
12
your war
inches.
Machines nearby.
With your war machines nearby, you're giving a big chunk, except for your flying items that are out there messing with people, as you're keeping them away from your gun line. A 5+ ward save. This is incredibly good.
It is all shooting attacks, not just war machines.
Correct. It is it's broken.
I don't know why you would not have this in your
Yes,
army.
it just covers, even if you don't play in the corner, it's still going to cover enough of your army. It's just
Even if you're playing the advancing army, this is covering your advance as you move forward.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is really nice.
It's just too much.
No wonder I see this so much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only a 6-inch range, so
12.
What?
6 in each direction.
I understand.
Yes. And it's units, it's not models, so
Yeah, you got to get one guy.
Yep.
Anyway.
It's just it's too much for what you're paying for it.
It is. It's really good.
Way too much for what you're paying for it.
Well, then you can take this Rune of Swiftness. You only have one of these. One per army. The bear's unit gains Vanguard. So you can Vanguard a unit for 50 points. That's actually not bad as I thought it was originally. I didn't like this originally, but this means 50-point upgrade to make any unit you want Vanguard.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not bad. A lot of units pay quite a bit to Vanguard. 20, 30 points, right? This you can do in any unit in your army that can take a banner.
Nothing wrong with it. It's for definitely a specific kind of build. There aren't too many units you want vanguarding off by themselves on foot, right?
Maybe. It's not terrible. I mean, you can put any unit of dwarves can march up there. 12-inch move at the beginning of the game is pretty potent.
I think it's good, I'd say, but
I mean, even dwarves can't march that far. Most,
yeah, they only march 9.
A long time, but they march a long way. But it's only 9, not 12.
They outmarch humans, but
so I mean, you manage to get a first turn, and now all of a sudden you're 21 inches downfield
with one unit.
Yeah.
I think that's an easy enough to counter. I think if you're taking it with, like I said, certain builds where you're actually having, other scouts and things of that nature, miners and things, and it can be quite powerful. But
where this can really mess somebody up is if you're willing to take that risk, is put it on your BSB, and then when your characters go down, it goes into a surprise unit to really screw your opponent. You know what I'm saying?
No,
you're placing your units one at a time down on the board,
right.
Blah blah blah. Your opponent's ready for you. He's not worried about that unit of dwarves slightly off to the right because they're kind of out of position. And then their last move, the dwarves put down their characters, and now all of a sudden that unit over there that he wasn't worried about is vanguarding 12 inches down the field. So I can see it as a sneak thing. Of course, the cost of that is your BSB.
Yeah, your BSB is out in there. So
correct. But
I said
anyway,
I don't see it unless you have.
I don't think it's broken. I think it's a decent item.
I don't think it's broken at all. I think it's a decent item, but I just think it's for a certain kind of build.
Yeah.
Because I want if I can't get multiple units being supported by my BSB, they can support one another. They're still
the whole reason to have your BSB.
There's still infantry movement, marching around. It's I don't see it, and that's part of what makes the dwarves, almost unbreakable. Is their BSB back there with their high leadership and all the guys.
High leadership, re-rolling, stubborns,
exactly,
and everything else. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, so I think it's better with certain kinds of builds, but which you don't see too often. You tend to see the guy sitting in the back, shooting the hell out. Why wouldn't you? Shooting the hell out of you as you get to him, then he kills you because.
Then once you get to him,
you fight
so
pretty
weak,
well.
He's crushing you.
Yeah.
Because he does fight well. Because when you finally get to him, you fail your charge on your Rune of Dismay.
Exactly.
Now you're right up against him because this doesn't. Notice this doesn't detract from your failed charge move.
Yes.
So now you're right up against him, and now he's charging you at +1 string.
Exactly. Or getting that one more shot at you
with his
with his organ guns.
Whereas the other with his the Rune of Retribution.
Yeah.
So now he's charging you with devastating charge coming back.
yeah.
With his whole battle line.
Yeah.
Since you failed all your charges. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of combos, not only inside each one, but inside.
Yes. I mean, just figuring out all the combos. I think it's. Clearly, the dwarf players, know how to do all these combos. Yeah, it takes some ciphering.
Yeah, well, the dwarf players are a big fan of rats. Apparently, they like their cheese.
Yeah. Well, they like to grumble too. It's a dwarven thing. Grumble. They have to grumble how they're so disadvantaged.
So put out.
Yes.
So abused. Because they're slow moving.
Yeah. But except they're not.
I mean, it's a ton of points, but I can see this Rune of Dismay combined with the Rune of Retribution.
Yeah.
Is a really nice combo.
It is.
I mean, like I said, that's 170 points between those two items, but
Well, the challenge here is, and I'm sure we'll see some comment about this, but it's true of all armies. The characters now are so expensive.
Correct. You're limited to how many you're going to have.
They really have an embarrassment of riches.
That's the expression I was looking for.
That's really what it is. I mean, there's so many combos here, so many things you can do, but you can only afford. Thank God, you can only afford so many characters.
Yeah. It's the same thing.
They're still cheaper than the Equitane characters.
They are cheaper. I was about to bring up the Equitane. I was
yeah.
like, it's kind of the same thing with the Equitane. If you look at the virtues and all that stuff they have, it is kind of a, well, this is really good, this is really good, this is really good, but I can't do them all.
Yeah, exactly.
Which one am I going to settle on?
So, I mean, this takes it to the...
they do have that.
This takes it to the nines.
But it does. It's a little
This
over.
is such an embarrassment of riches.
It is.
It doesn't bother me that they have an embarrassment of riches in that context. I wish all the magic items were that way, that you had so many things to choose from, that it was up to you to figure out what you wanted. Instead of having, here's the 2 items, I'm definitely taking everything else as crap.
Right.
Which ends up working out that way because it's so hard to balance. And the only reason it works for these guys is because they can build their items perfectly.
They can mix and match them how they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is really good.
It's really nice. And listen, most of it doesn't bug me. I don't like the little cheap ones that allows them to double up on things.
Yeah.
And I think they could reorder the talismans and the enchant. They don't have enchanted, right?
They have talismans.
They have talismans. They don't have enchanted items.
They've got 5 categories, just like everyone else, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't everyone have 5 categories?
You have enchanted, you have talisman, you have armor, you have weapons, you have arcane if you're a mage, and you have standards.
So up to 6.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're limited to only 5. You're right, they're down 1.
So what I think I would do is I'd create another category to put those little cheap ones in so people can't double up, and that allows them to still have those things.
But it falls under the other category.
Yeah, so they can't double up on some of the other abilities.
That's actually kind of funny. That's a good idea.
I'm gonna do that, and then I said the all the bound spells really bothers me for the army.
It does. The bound spells are.
I mean, the points totals on a lot of these runes will need to be adjusted as far, at least I think.
I'm okay with pretty much the armor. The armor doesn't bug me.
Armor I'm okay with.
The talismans, for the most part, don't bug me. I think it's all in the weapons that bug me.
Weapons are rough.
And, of course,
and
the
arcane.
Rune of Devouring.
And a couple of the arcane items.
I'm okay with most of these except for this.
Yeah.
This, I think, is so good.
Yes.
I don't know how every army does not have this, because this wins you the magic phase, not just in the round you use, because it's not going to win it in the round you use it. It's what it does to you for the entire game.
Oh, absolutely.
And I would burn this almost every time on the first turn.
A couple of the armors I thought were underpriced also.
The armors?
Yeah. I think going to toughness 6 for that price is too cheap.
Oh, 60 points for up to tough. Okay.
Going to toughness 5, I'd be okay for somebody, but going to toughness 6, I think is too cheap.
Okay, maybe, but it's just that generic +1 toughness, so it's
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, but on most of your character, that's just the only thing.
Understood.
And then gaining a wound for 40 points, I think is too cheap.
I wouldn't.
Should
you
be
know
60.
what? You're probably right. I wouldn't mind these 2 totals if they had the same caps on magic items as other people with the 200 and 100.
Yeah.
Then these become more okay to me, more acceptable. But considering you have a higher point allotment already,
I don't think they should have a discount. To me, they're already getting a discount on things, which I don't think they should have. And then I can have more stuff also.
The 2 things,
and I don't have to pay
and
I don't have to pay an exorbitant amount for a horse to get a high armor save. So
an 80-point horse.
Yeah, an 80
or a 60-point +1
100, or
toughness
depending
item.
whichever you're comparing. Yeah.
But again, I think these top 3 weapons need to be adjusted, because I think these are all way too cheap for what they do.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I mean, sorry, not way too cheap. This one's cheap. The penetrating's cheap.
Yes.
These 2 are way too cheap for what they do. Especially Rune of Smashing.
Yeah.
Strength 10 for 40 points, basically. And if they don't have toughness 5, well, who cares? They're not a challenge to you anyway if they don't have toughness 5.
Yeah, I think I even think the great weapon one's a little cheap.
You're
getting a magic great weapon, you're paying a 10-point expense on it. Okay, it's just because you can take the other stuff to go with it.
Right.
Yeah, it's a stacking.
Anyway, like you said, we've said before, it's the combining the cheap abilities with the over
Right. And what
the extra points you can spend on these
exactly?
things.
And as I did, and the
Why
ability,
both?
and stacking abilities makes them exponentially better. That's what kind of already
Correct.
breaks, other armies of magic weapons. So it's kind of the same. So I said, to me, it's a cost. I don't mind them having these things, with the exception of the. Oop, our screen's stuck.
There you go.
With the exception of the those bound spells, I just think some of the points may be off. I mean, I'm sure they'll look completely different when they redo the army book anyway. But
Yeah, they'll be cheaper.
yeah, probably, probably.
They're dwarves. They always need help.
Yeah, then
So
they'll be
why
riding
not?
around on bears, guys on bears wielding them. Yeah,
Well, they already got a flying tank, so you might as well have bears they can ride around
Exactly.
on and everything else.
surprised they haven't come up with jetpacks yet.
But we're just talking about items for now.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just talking about their
Yeah.
magicless army for now.
So I mean, as far as overall rating, you have to give them a thumbs up because they can do. It's just an embarrassment of riches.
It is. Broken in way too many ways.
It's broken away to me, and there's some that aren't any good, and some that you wouldn't take. In fact, there's
Correct.
nothing wrong with a number of them, but it's the same problem that a lot of magic items have: is you're going to get so many items. There's so many that are so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I need to sit down with. I'm going to my next tournament. I'll have to sit down with Phil Carl and Mark from Green Dragon Gamings, and they can
They can tell you how,
And they can tell
how
me-
bad they are.
what's wrong with every one of these.
Yes.
Well, where being able to do D3 wounds sucks because most things you fight only have one wound.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're fighting rank and file, you only have one
Exactly. And it sucks because you have to.
wound. They'll come up with
You
something.
have,
I'm
you
sure.
actually have to double it up with something else to give you another ability.
Exactly. So I'm just getting this dig in now.
Yeah.
Just come on, boys, let's have it.
Yes.
I want to hear from you,
Yeah,
both of you.
I can make something much better than a pickaxe with this thing.
Jack's pickaxe.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you certainly can. Why can't you?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I can make
It's
it
already
much better
done
than
right
a-
here for 120 points.
Exactly.
For 120 points, if it's toughness 5, your strength 10.
It does cost more than a pickaxe, though.
What is a pickaxe?
Is it 80?
No, it's over 100.
Is it? I don't think it was.
Gotta
that
be
much.
over 100.
I don't think so.
I think you're crazy. So well over 100.
There weren't too
I'm
many
going to
things.
say it's over 100, whether it is or
Yeah,
not.
there's very few things that are over 100.
I can't agree that they don't have something broke. But yeah, okay. So even if we do say it's over that, which Jack's pickaxe only 7.
Yeah, it's not that much.
Okay. So, but it only works against towering presence.
Correct.
This works against everything in the game.
Yes.
Oh, but never mind. I remember most things only have one wound.
Yeah, exactly.
So 5 attacks doing D3 at strength 10 doing. Yeah.
5
That's-
attacks.
So you've run into that unit of Shabtis. Now they're only tough 4, aren't they?
Why would you only have 5 attacks?
I'm giving you 4 base plus 1 because I'm doing this, this, and this.
You forget about the paired weapons.
Ah, sorry. Oh, I forgot. Holy crap. Right off the bat, this is a paired weapon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
I mean, you have to give up some of your protection, but yeah.
I don't care about my protection. All I gotta do is survive because I've got 2 extra wounds from this crap down here. So I don't care. You can't kill me in a round, and I'll destroy you.
I mean, that's 100, 150. You only have 100 points left for armor runes.
Good point. You're right. It's useless. Why would I ever do any of this?
Yeah.
Never mind. I take it all back, guys.
For 6 attacks at strength 10.
I take it all back.
D3
Your army
wounds.
sucks.
Yeah.
You need more help.
You can only have one of those guys, though.
I'm leaving. I'm done with this army.
The other guy has to have the great weapon with lightning reflexes with the extra attacks.
We're not doing the rest of this review. I'm done. So apparently part A is the only part that's going to be taking place in the Dwarven holds.
Oh no, we have much more. I haven't gotten the full aneurysm effect going.
I have not yet begun to whine.
Well, you get to a point it's comical. You have to laugh. It's
That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Okay, so I think we both give this one a thumbs up from a.
no.
If it was my army, wow.
If this was my army, it would have a thumbs up. It's not getting a thumbs up no matter what because it's dwarves.
Yes, there is that.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Till the next time.